Welcome to the Ugandan capital, Kampala, for highlights of the 2017 World Cross Country Championships. Some of the best athletes in the world gather for one of athletics' great traditional events at the climax of the cross-country season. This year, the championships return to the spiritual home of distance running, East Africa. Uganda's East African neighbours, Kenya and Ethiopia, are renowned for producing world-class distance runners, and when it comes to cross-country, they are almost untouchable.
Ngugi regains the world title. And Tergat comes away, an imposing figure, dominant, and that is an all-time record. Kwame of Ethiopia takes the gold.
These two nations are utterly dominant. Since 1973, they've won more than half of all available medals between them. That's 559 if you count them.
Kenenisa Bekele wins a record-breaking 6 World Cross Country titles. One of the greatest distance runners that women's athletics has ever seen.
So can the Ugandans rise to the occasion on their home turf, or will we see yet more titles for Ethiopia and Kenya today?
The world cross-country champion, it's gold for Kenya.
Well, here at the Kololo Independence Grounds, we've got 5 races with both individual and team medals up for grabs. The under-20 women and men run the shorter distances of 6 and 8 kilometres respectively, and the senior races are both run over 5 laps of the 2-kilometre course. Before all of that, though, it's the new event, the mixed relay, an 8-kilometre race run by teams of 2 men and 2 women who'll each complete a 2-kilometre loop in any order that they wish, which should be really interesting. And the runners pass a wristband in place of a baton inside a 20-metre long takeover zone. No British team, unfortunately, in this event, but Kenya and Ethiopia have put forward their 1,500-metre superstars. We've got the 3-time world and Beijing Olympic champion Asbel Kiprop and multiple world record holder Genzebi Dibaba. And so most of the teams have gone for man-woman, man-woman. A few have decided not to do that. USA, for instance, have got Paul Chelimo, their Olympic silver medalist, going on the last leg for them. Incidentally, the last leg is a little bit shorter because they don't complete a full lap. They go straight into the finish funnel, so it's about 200 metres shorter. The first 3 legs all over 2K. So here we go. The World Cross Country Championships mixed relay for the first time ever. Men running against women. And it's going to be really interesting to me to see who gets the order right. And is Asbel Kiprop wasted on this first leg? Well, he will be wasted if he sits around. He really needs to put a bit of distance, if he can, between himself and some of the other teams. So as expected, Paula, they've gone off at quite a lick here. We'll get a first look at the lap here as well. It's probably going to have more of an impact in the longer races, but it's a mix. It's pretty flat, but there are 1 or 2 ups and downs. 1 or 2 are artificial, and there is a ditch which has been a little bit controversially well, not controversially filled in. It was controversial because it was considered to be a little bit dangerous, as we have been told it's been filled in overnight. Anyway, Kiprop in the lead, and let's see how he negotiates the first hill coming up.
Shouldn't really be too much bother up the hill for Kiprop, but immediately we're seeing the impact of having chosen to put the women on the first leg, so the teams are quickly separating into groups. And I think what happened with the Ugandan team was they saw the other guys all step up and they switched around at the last minute. I don't know whether they might be penalised for that because they're not running the team that in the order they had declared.
Well, Paula, as ever, looking out for the rules, and I did read the rules beforehand, and once you have declared, a bit like the 4x400, you cannot change the order unless there's an injury. So you can't just change it because you have a look around and think, oh, hang on, we might not have got this right here. So unless they manage to go in and redeclare based on some scenario involving an injury then, or an illness or whatever, they may well be disqualified. Disqualifying the home nation. Ooh. Plenty of Kenyan support, Ugandan flags waving as well. Really getting into this relay, which is good to see. Good crowds. Corey Leslie of the USA, quite a long way back. So takes the wristband off, hands it over to Ibita. She takes it safely in her hand. And now Ethiopia in second place. And Ethiopia, as I said, with Genzebi Dibaba on the last leg. But on this one, they've got Chiluke, not one of their better known athletes. And then the rest of the team's coming through. But so far so good in the changeover, Paula.
Yeah, I didn't see any of them dropped yet. Of course, we will only be able to see if they dropped it there because they can hold it in their fists, as it were. So you won't see a wristband and you won't obviously see a baton evident. But she's gone off here, Winifred N'Bita, very, very fast, being chased down by Chaluka. And then in the background there, I could just see Mariam Akdag of Turkey. Turkey and Bahrain actually controversially running with a team composed entirely of transferee athletes, which again opens up that question here. But good to see that those teams still have come out and supported the relay event.
Yeah, we were thinking that the Turkish team on paper looked really good. They had both the Kayas. Cross-country fans will know the two of them, Aras Kaya and Ali Kaya, the previous two winners of the European Cross-Country Championships, with Akdag and Yasemin Can, the current champion of the European Cross-Country Championships. And that team on paper looked very, very strong as a quartet. So not a good first leg for Turkey. Way down on Kenya and Ethiopia. And N'Bita, well, she's really having, I think, Paula, she might pay. She looked to me as though she sprinted off as though this was 800 metres. And going to be interesting to see here whether, as you said, not just whether Chaluka, who's not, as an 18-year-old Ethiopian, a bit of an inexperience, but whether one or two of the other teams can just get a little bit closer. There's Chaluka, and there you can see Akdag. Now Turkey coming into it. That's interesting. So Kenya leading, and that's a good lead, but Ethiopia now closing it down, and Turkey, Akdag is really suffering in third place.
And back in front of the crowds, and they're getting a lot of support from the grandstands there, and this is an area where they will be able to get a clear view ahead of them through the transfer zone, and be able to hopefully see their next runner being ushered out to take that wristband from them and to be able to go on with their race.
Yeah, Uganda are closing. They're in fourth place at the moment, but getting a bit closer. With assuming that's Manyando on the second leg. She was initially down to do the first leg, and as Paula was saying earlier on, whether or not there's Musagala waiting for them, but interesting to see whether or not that change for Uganda is something which will be looked upon leniently by the officials. I think it might be. So there's Kejelcha raring to go after this man here. This is Koros of Kenya leading, and that's a good lead, isn't it? It's a good 10-15 seconds, or at least there's Akdag, who's slowed and fell at the end there, exhausted. So it's a close battle for third, fourth, fifth there. But at the moment, Kenya well out in front. And you'd think that what Koros has to do here is to go off pretty hard here. Don't hang around. Make Kejelcha misjudge his effort, because they know surely Genzebe Dibaba, world record holder, of course, on the track at multiple distances and 2,000 metres indoors. You've got to think that if she's within 10-15 seconds, she's got a great chance of closing the gap. So Kejelcha's got a job to do for his team, but we can see there Turkey with Ali Kaya chasing him. So a good battle for the minor places.
Yeah, Koros really has to work hard here and build up as much as a cushion as he can for Beatrix Chepkoech, who will go on the fourth leg for Kenya. She does have a personal best of 4:03, but that's still, 13 seconds behind Genzebe Dibaba, who has a little bit longer than 1,500 metres to chase her down. But both of those, if the USA have been able to make any inroads on that, will be being chased down by the likes of Paul Chelimo. Musagala also, I know he was going here now, wasn't he? They've switched around for Uganda. He was originally meant to be going for Uganda on the final leg.
So Kenya, that gap is not getting any smaller. And we're in for a real humdinger on this last leg here, because Kenya will have a lead. It's a big lead, and we're expecting it to be round about the 15 seconds. There's Kejelcha doing his best to try and close it, and every second he gets closer, just give Dibaba something to race for. Ali Kai has moved into third place for Turkey, but it's Kenya leading. This is Bernard Koros coming to the end of his leg, and he's going to hand over to Beatrice Chepkoech. Chepkoech waiting. He looks tired now, doesn't he? Just losing a little bit of time right at the end here. And Kejelcha will be trying to take advantage of that. So what's the gap going to be? Kenya leading. There's Genzebe Dibaba waiting. Recently broke the 2,000 metre world record, and it's less than 2,000 metres of running ahead of her. Kenya first. Here we go. 16:50. Watch the clock here. Ethiopia waiting as Kenya race away. And Genzebe Dibaba, well, she's going to have a real task on her hand. We're already up to about, well, she's gone, so less than 15 seconds, Paula. There she is. I would say probably about 11, 12 seconds. She'll do that.
I reckon that's game over there. She's got the bit between her teeth and she's chasing hard. And Beatrix Chepkoech there, she knows she's been chased and she's gone off as fast as she can, but she needs to stay in control as well, because this course does have a little bit of a sting in the tail, as we've seen on the previous laps here, and if you do go off too hard, you do really pay for that in the closing second half of this loop. So she knows she's being chased down. She's got to maintain her form, maintain her concentration, and really pace this right.
Look at that. She's definitely not moving that well, and there's still plenty of time for Dibaba. If she can get within 3 or 4 seconds, a little look over her shoulder for Chepkoech, if she can get within 3 or 4 seconds with 400 to go, then of course we have to bear in mind, Paul, it's not a full lap, this one, and it just might be that she's going to run out of distance and run out of time. We expected her to close that gap a lot quicker than she has done.
Yeah, and she's definitely, I mean, she can obviously see the runner in front of her that she needs to chase down, but she's also getting a lot of encouragement from the Ethiopian team management and the Ethiopian supporters out on the course there. We'll get a little bit more of an idea of just how comfortable she is as she negotiates this hill now, and how well she runs up and also down that, because, yeah, she just looks very heavy-legged to me, as though she's almost not getting the return from this ground that the others are, and that she would be accustomed to getting when she races on the track.
I think this is going to be really close. I agree with you, but I think she's got the bit between her teeth now, and I think she's getting within 7 or 8 seconds. Is she going to run out of time? Has she got the ability to kind of judge a big kick? Surely Chepkoech has saved a little bit for the finish here, and if she can just stay 20-30 metres ahead, then the victory could be hers. A little choppy stride up that last little rise there, a few more twists and turns. The last thing she should do is really look behind, because I think it's going to be only one thing she's going to see. Dibaba trying to pick up, but there's not far to go now, and we can see Dibaba still not close enough. There she is, and it is getting down to about 4 or 5 seconds here, but that's still a lot to make up. Look at Dibaba, she's sprinting already, Paula.
Yeah, now Dibaba looks like Dibaba usually looks, and she can see in front of her. She probably knows how, or she should know how far she's got left to go, and has she got enough left to be able to close this gap, or has Beatrix Chepkoech just saved enough to be able to finish this race off hard?
She's still about 4.5 seconds behind, and that's a big gap to make up in what's only about 300 metres left to run. Kenya leading the first ever mixed relay at the World Cross Country Championships. Genzebe Dibaba, the person you so would want to have on the last leg, and with just 100 metres to go, she's going to run out of time. It's going to be a gold medal for Kenya, beating their great rivals, and that may well be down to tactics. The first leg, Asbel Kiprop gave them the lead. They've never relinquished it, despite the efforts of Kejelcha and Dibaba. It's Kenya who win the gold in the mixed relay. Dibaba gives up the chase in the end. Wasn't quite there for her today. She takes the silver for Ethiopia, and then the European cross-country champion Chan will bring Turkey home. The 3 women running the last legs for the medal-winning teams. Kenya the gold, Ethiopia the silver, and Turkey the bronze.